friend over for dinner the other day, and he is a dad. He has two sons in their 20s, and he was telling us how he and his wife had sat with their sons and their sons' girlfriends, and they were talking about the experience of dating apps and what that's like, and how now, you know, and I'm not putting this on them because I absolutely know this is exactly what I did. Like, you set your filters, right? So it has, you think like, oh, there's plenty of fish out there, and then we narrow our filters to like this height and this eye color and this, you know, just like the most ridiculous prerequisites for things. And so then by the time it's all said and done, you are working with like a 3% stripe of the potential population. You're wondering like, where are they? I can't find them. It's like, no, you've eliminated them. And so not even what I've taken away, what life has actually shown me in my experience is be surprised by those that will love you and by those that you will be called to love. And they might not fit into your little filters.
Yes.
But, you know, if you say that we're all children of God, and if you're a believer or not a believer, if you believe that something at least created all of us or all of this, then you're offering that to some kind of a higher power. So, and I hope that, you know, we can see that there's got to be something greater than us. And so that force must be more creative than anything we can imagine.
Yes.
And so if you're limiting to like, they have to be this tall, and, you know, they have to speak 3 languages and they have to be great at this, and it's like we're dumbing it down. And like, what about the creative? Tone teaches about the most important things. The ultimate success formula is you have to stay flexible, and you have to be resourceful, and you got to get creative. And these are the things, just like in anything else, that will make you quote unquote successful. I think when we're talking about love, even, is like, get creative. Don't just work with this one little, like, this is all I want, and this is all that will work for me. It's like, where's the fun in that? Be surprised. Let it, you know, get messy, like you said.
It's true. And a lot of times those qualities, they're about attraction.
Right.
You know, it's not necessarily even about love. And love looks different. I mean, you look at this unique constellation of this family. And for those of you who didn't possibly tune into our Mother's Day podcast, Mary carried our daughter. She was the surrogate, and ended up being an adoptive parent of our daughter. And that came through love. You know, that came through this unexpected constellation of these human souls that were brought together and brought this, you know, beautiful being into existence. And the unexpectedness is this chosen family. And there's a sharing, and it magnifies love. It makes life more beautiful in that sharing. And it's unexpected. I never imagined it. You know, it's gorgeous and beautiful, and of course has its challenges as well. But no different than any human life would have its challenges, you know. Every
relationship,
yes,
every form of love.
But it's so, I couldn't have created that. I couldn't have wrote this script, you know, but it came out of a painful circumstance. It was birthed out of, you know, not being able to, or miscarrying so many times, and not being able to carry a child myself. And so this unexpectedness of this, you know, this aggregate of these beautiful humans that came together, that humbles me and amazes me. And I'm not that intelligent or cool to think it up. And that would be missed on an app. Not to say that you cannot fall in love on an app. I think they're, you know, wonderful, because we can, you know, life offers us love anywhere. Love defies the odds, or certainly this family has defied the odds or the unexpectedness of how this amazing constellation has come together. And I look at our daughter, and she has more love, not less. And because of it, and you get to experience what it's like to be a mother, to be a parent, because of that really courageous choice that you made to carry her. I'm blessed with the gift to have a daughter that I wouldn't have without, you know, you, without this amazing family, and Tone being a father, and this, it's just, it blows me away, and it humbles me every day. And I think, you know, just talking to people and people in our life, I think, you know, a lot of times parents are coming together, or human beings are coming together. Maybe you're married before, maybe you weren't, maybe you had children, maybe you didn't, maybe you want to have a child again, whatever it looks like, or you're hanging out with them, and that's really cool, and that's enough. It looks, life in love looks so beautifully different and as diverse as it possibly can, as we are humans. And I think that's gorgeous.
I do too. And that doesn't mean I don't wake up most mornings and think, how did I get here? How did this happen? How did
what
this
I always
happen?
say.
God.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
That's your answer only every time, and it's true. We told, you guys have a friend who has a mutual friend who is the Canadian psychologist and author, Jordan Peterson.
Oh, yes.
So one day they actually came over to the house, and Jordan and his wife. And so you were, I remember this day, it was Tony and you and myself and baby. And it was the first time we'd never met. We had no backstory on each other. So you were kind of introducing you and kind of our family to them. And so you kind of went through the whole thing. Like, Tony and I have been married over 20 years and we have been on the path to starting a family, and that hasn't been without its challenges. And, so Mary actually carried our child. She's our surrogate, but we all live together now, and we actually legally pursued third parent adoption. And so this is the unique constellation that we're living by. And I remember him sitting there and just like taking it all. And by the way, he's such a bright mind and extremely articulate.
He's so brilliant.
He speaks with precision, and his language has such accuracy. And I'm an admirer of his work. His biblical lectures, I think, are some of the best resources on the subject that exists. And he was, taking this all, I'm going to say it again, we had just met, and Sage gives him our kind of family nutshell in 30 seconds. And he was like, that must require a lot of negotiation. And I'm not disagreeing with him, but I remember hearing him use that word, and I was like, in my head, I had like kind of a head tilt, like, I wonder what negotiation means to him. I'm sure he has a very precise interpretation of that word. And I got lost in my own, like, how negotiation, interesting, if that's what that would mean to him. Okay. And I'm just like, and before I could even think to myself, but that doesn't really resonate with you and Tony and I in this situation, you looked at him extremely respectfully, I want to make that really clear, and just said, no, not when there's love as a base, not when there's virtue, not when you're all in servitude to each other. And I remember that moment, and it almost brings tears to my eyes, because your answer to nearly